think that, you've probably got in Europe, three sectors. You've probably got London, which sits out there as one of the most successful global cities. Then you've got the Northern European core cities, and then there are sort of recovering markets of the south. And so different styles of capital are targeting different, parts of Europe. There's no question that the recovery of Spain and Italy, over the past, 18 months has been, quite dramatic. And I think that, Spain in particular has attracted huge amounts of capital. And one of the reasons for that is that, they have addressed some of their difficulties a little later than some of the other markets. But, in terms of selling down debt and, dealing with their issues, they've been, better at it perhaps than some of the others. We mentioned France. France is beginning to look at some of its labour laws, beginning to look at some of the sort of constraints to growth. And so I think that there's a view that, gradually that will change and that will become, more interesting. I think for us, it's one of the things is going to be it's a question of cities and which cities will outperform and, what makes a high-performing city. I think that's going to be quite interesting. I think if you look at technology and you look at the media, the TMT sector, London today has Amazon right in the middle of London. You have Google at King's Cross. You have, the market is changing. And that's not just London. I think it's all about, companies recruiting and retaining staff. That's becoming the sort of the big, decisions that people make about location. It's all about their staff. Whereas previously it wouldn't be the first thing on the list. Today, the competition for staff is driving, occupational decisions. I think investors are going to be a lot closer to those decisions going forward and thinking about, why particular cities or particular locations will succeed. You just have to look at London and see which parts of London have grown and succeeded in peripheral locations. And you can look at cities like Berlin, which are, really growing very, very quickly. They're now becoming perhaps the dominant, sort of city in Germany. And one of the reasons for that is they're attracting, different styles of occupiers. They're, you've got government agencies, you've got all sorts of different people wanting to be in the same location. And that makes it attractive, to companies and also to staff. And, whereas some of the other markets in Germany are, driven by, Frankfurt, driven by finance, and Munich and Hamburg driven by private wealth perhaps. So I think that these kind of thoughts are very much in investors' minds.